The 5th anniversary strengthening quest will give 14 servants some needed upgrades. How's it going, everyone? This is Kay, and I'll break down all the upcoming rank ups we'll receive. Starting with Phantom of the Opera, his second skill will change from charming just female enemies to charming any enemy, while also removing their buffs. The cooldown for the skill will also decrease by 1 turn. The skill is a nice improvement, however most players won't really use Phantom in CQs, especially against bosses, where they usually have debuff resistance against charms. Next is Bryn Hilder, who I still don't have, which is pretty frustrating because I really want her. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. But her second skill will also be upgraded. She will now have a 20 to 30% NP battery, depending on the skill level. Though NP batteries sound very simple, the game is transitioning to fast NP usage, and Bryn, being a buster focused servant, has always struggled with NP charges, so a 30% NP charge is a strong addition. Darius' gut skill will now debuff all enemies' buster resistance by 20%, a great combination with his own AoE buster NP attack, and even as a damage support for other buster servants. Additionally, his skill cooldown will also be reduced. For Mama Raiko, her Noble Phantasm received a much needed damage upgrade since her Noble Phantasm is pretty weak in this modern era. The NP will also debuff all enemies' crit chance, which is a decent survivability tool, cause no one loves getting one-shotted by enemies. No, we're the ones who loves one-shotting enemies. David's Noble Phantasm will increase in damage and deal extra damage towards giant enemies, which is, quite fitting to his legend. There isn't a whole lot of regular giant enemies, but plenty of bosses though. Overall, a good skill upgrade, but not necessarily a game changer. For you, god damn it, she has evaded my Chaldea as well. 500 Saint Courts down the drain and not even a 4-star. Oh man, the pain and misery of this gacha hell. But I'm again going off topic. She is somewhat of a strange servant to use since she can spam her Noble Phantasm but has a demerit that removes her buffs. With her new second skill upgrade, the buff removal resistance will extend to 3 turns, which allows her to use her NP consecutively without weakening in damage because of the demerit. The skill will also provide a buff that increases damage by 30%. Overall, this strengthening is definitely a must-have for you as it does improve her performance. For Nata, or Naja, upgrade is simple as her NP will improve in damage and her burn debuff will increase from 1k to 3k damage per turn. For 5 turns that is, so a total of 15k damage, which is pretty nice. I mean, who doesn't like watching enemies burn, am I right? For Arjuna, his second skill will now give an additional 10% NP charge for 5 turns, which is amazing for NP consistency. Since he has a triple arts deck, his NP spamming potential has increased significantly. The best thing about the upgrade is that the cooldown for the skill will be reduced by 2 turns. With most of his effects lasting 5 turns, that's only a 3-turn downtime instead of the usual 5. A great upgrade, one that improves Arjuna consistently. And now for the greatest king in the entire Fate franchise. Fight me, I don't care what anyone says, Caster Gilgamesh is the best. I mean, Iskandar is the close second, but Caster Gilgamesh all the way, except for Archer Gil, he's an ass. But going back, Noble Phantasm will increase in damage along with a new team buff that will increase everyone's critical damage. This further enhances his role as an arts supporter, now being able to support arts crits focused servants like Saber Lancelot, Holmes, and many more. Caster Gilgamesh himself can produce the stars with his own NP and first skill, making him not only reliable, but also consistent. And next, FGO's greatest waifu, Musashi. You can fight me on that one as well. Your opinion doesn't matter, mine's is superior. I'm just joking, we all feel a bit biased towards our own favorite characters, but her NP will be upgraded. Her Noble Phantasm damage and her overcharge effect, which increases NP damage as well, will both increase. So basically, her NP will hit really hard, or harder than before, making her the highest hitting Saber in the game. There's additional damage against alter egos and moon cancer type enemies, not really the best extra effect you can ask for since you'll rarely face them. Nonetheless, her overall NP damage output will increase. The upgrade is nice since who doesn't like more damage, but she will eventually need some sort of NP battery skill upgrade for better NP usage. Ku, the 3-star servant who we all know was secretly a 5-star servant, his gut skill will now offer him a damage buff based on his remaining HP. This is good since it encourages you to use his skill normally, when close to death basically, which synergizes well with his gut skill timing. Ku's damage has always been a bit lackluster, but now it's improved. The skill cooldown will decrease by 1 turn, which actually increases his survivability slightly since there's less wait time for his guts to reactivate. The downtime is also really low for the guts, waiting only 1 turn after the effects expire if the effects doesn't activate. Basically, this upgrade makes Ku even better for both damage and a bit of survivability. But oh man, talking about survivability, Herc was a monster before, but now he's even scarier. His gut skill can now stack, along with buffing his buster attacks whenever his gut skill is activated. That's right, you heard me right. For every death, he comes back stronger with a 20% buster buff. This is obviously a great skill with his CE, which gives him 3 revivals, including the skill. He can revive 4 times if you remember. Actually, he can now come back 5 times when the skill is timed correctly because of the stacking effect, meaning a 20% buster buff stacking for each individual guts. It's important to keep in mind that the guts from his skill will be consumed first, then his CEs, so you don't have to worry about timing the skill. You can just use it as a stacking effect, and you don't have to worry about wasting the effect as it'll activate first. Basically, you don't have to save the skill towards the end anymore. You can just activate it whenever you think he's going to die. But now, Herc is the one true solo god in FGL. Honestly, despite being a 4-star, he's on par with some of the best 5-stars in the game. We now move to Emiya, who's received upgrades like no other. His 3rd skill will have another upgrade, which will increase all arts, quicks, and buster performance by 50% instead of the 40% from the previous upgrade. Now, what's amazing is that he will now be able to change his NP to arts, which is a freaking game changer for this guy. Emiya's biggest weakness, even with all the other improvements, is that he was essentially an arts servant with a buster NP. But now, with this, it has changed. Unfortunately, this is only for 1 turn, and then back to buster it is, but he can technically work with Castoria for that 1 arts NP. Honestly, it's a great skill to have, it's a great skill upgrade. Sadly, with a 4-turn downtime, it's not a move that completely fixes him. I feel like it should have been 3 turns, similar to Space Ishtar, then it'll really solve Emiya's issue. And finally, we have the OG waifu, the servant that started it all. Glad she's getting some love because her upgrade is a good one. Her skill will basically go from just buffing her buster performance to now buffing NP damage as well and transforming all her attacks to buster. This opens up easy access to NP buster crit plays, allowing her to deal high damage output for that 1 turn. This really improves Saber's lackluster gameplay as she was basically only used for her noble phantasm in the past, but with this, and now with Merlin and the future Tamamovich, her damage potential is insanely high. So that's the 14 servant strengthenings we can look forward to in the 5th anniversary. Which one is your favorite? Obviously, Herc's the best, cause goddamn that upgrade is freaking godly. But I'd be lying to say if I weren't excited for Arjuna and Saber's upgrade as well, cause it'll be kind of exciting to use them in battle now, but comment down below to let me know which one is your favorite. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future FGO videos. Have an awesome day. I wish you the best luck when you're summoning for Castoria or whatever servant you're going for. Good luck on the GSSR as well. I hope we all get that servant we want. Take care, everyone.